Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the Caramel Critic, and today we get to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. It was released on HBOMAX, and it's a 4-hour long movie. So I'm pretty sure most of you are well aware of all the drama and controversy that went on with getting this Snyder cut released. So when the Justice League came back in, I believe it's 2017, Zack Snyder was at the helm and he was doing a great job. Unfortunately, tragedy struck his family and his daughter passed away. So Joss Whedon, who was brought in to finish the project. If any of you have ever seen a Zack Snyder film versus a Joss Whedon project, you know that they are completely different in tone. Joss Whedon is very quippy and he's very more upbeat and I guess a little more fun. You see this in his Firefly series. You've seen it in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Even in the first Avengers, you see this. You get this more lighthearted, jovial sense. With Zack Snyder, he is more dark, his movies are more rated R, and they deal with more serious tones. So, suffice it to say, the original Justice League definitely was, you could tell it was spliced together, especially in tone, and he changed a lot of things that Zack Snyder had in mind for the movie. At one point, I think Zack Snyder even said that only 10% of his actual movie was in the movie that was released in 2017. So I've been waiting for this movie and I got to see it when it came out. Now, okay, I'll start off with saying this. It is 4 hours long, but it does not feel like 4 hours because it's very engaging. It's very intriguing. The story just keeps pumping out. There are some like slow moments, but there's maybe 2, maybe 3 throughout the 4-hour runtime. Everyone from the original movie is, of course, in this one, but we get to see some other scenes that we did not get to see in Joss Whedon's version. The first thing that I'll say is that, yes, there are some scenes still from the original version, and they're not all shot for shot. Most of them have been changed or altered in some way. But what I did like about this, it's a very cohesive story. It's not like choppy. It's definitely not like Suicide Squad where you see where they put in these scenes to fit into these places, or he added the scenes that he wanted into the original movie. No, this is a completely different movie. One of the things I really liked was handling of Steppenwolf. So in the original version, Steppenwolf comes off as just a typical bad guy, cliched character who just wants to rule the world. But in Snyder's version, we see that Steppenwolf has way more depth. He has a bigger character arc. We learned that he's betrayed Darkseid in the past, and so he wants to try and regain favor with him. And so this is the motive for why he's doing this with the mother boxes. We also get to learn a lot more about the mother boxes and how they operate. It also explains how Steppenwolf was able to find the mother boxes. Some other things I liked about the movie, some of the more, I guess, sophomore tones and jokes that were in the movie are definitely taken out. Some of them did not work for me in the original version. And even, I believe there was like 2 or 3 lines in the original version that Whedon took directly from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But in Snyder's version, we don't have this. One of the sophomore things that were taken out, when the Flash runs and he pushes the sword back to Wonder Woman so she can catch it, but then something's about to fall on her and he grabs her and accidentally lands on top of her, and then he has to hurry up and speed away. I actually read that Gal Gadot did not want that scene in the movie at all. She didn't want to film it. So they used a stunt double anyway. So I'm glad they took that out because it just didn't make any sense. Another thing that I like is they changed Flash. He is still a little quirky, nerdy guy, but he's not a big chicken. He's not talking about he's afraid of bugs and he's afraid of heights and fumbling around. I really liked how they made him seem more of a coherent individual. Another thing that was different was there was more of a cohesive group. Like, you saw how these people work together. You saw why each one was needed. Unlike Suicide Squad, and I hate comparing this to Suicide Squad, but I really feel like Suicide Squad wasted its potential with the characters and they didn't really develop the characters like they should have. In this movie, each character gets fleshed out very well. Every single hero. We get to see a little bit of their background, and you get to see how each one contributes to the group. They each have a specific function, and if one of those characters were missing, the group would be at a loss for trying to accomplish what they were trying to accomplish. Like I said, these characters definitely do a lot more than they did in Whedon's version. Cyborg is very integral to the plot. We not only learn his backstory and what happened with him, but we see that he's able to speak to the mother boxes. He's able to connect with several things in this movie. That's definitely something we were lacking in Whedon's version. A part of me in the original was saying, well, why was he really there? He didn't really do much or wasn't really that integral in helping the group. But in Snyder's version, we see exactly why he was needed. We see that he just does a lot more. Also, another thing, Batman does way more in the ending fight scene than he did in the original version. He doesn't just sit around or stand around or, just knock out people. No, he actually contributes, which, that's Batman. That's what he's supposed to do. I think he took more of a back seat in the original version. I do feel like Whedon's version did feel like first Avengers movie, and yes, he directed both. So we got the sense of that. But in Snyder's version, we see that this is a completely different movie. And I will say that I feel that this is on an Infinity War Endgame type of level as far as the story, as far as the character development, as far as drawing you in and wanting to see what was going to happen. And I saw online one fan said this best. This was the movie that fans deserved. This was the one that we needed. And unfortunately, between the studio getting involved and Whedon taking over, we got a horrible movie, a movie that we didn't deserve. This was the movie. Snyder's version is what we deserve. Yes, it's 4 hours, but like I said, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. If he was allowed to do what he originally wanted to do, this was going to be spread out through multiple movies. We also see in this version, we have the black suited Superman, something else that Whedon changed. One thing I'm glad that they didn't change though was when they bring back Superman and he's fighting Aquaman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg. And this is my favorite part in both movies, when they're all trying to control him and we see the Flash try to run around him to get to him, and you see Superman's eyes turn and he sees the Flash. That's probably one of my favorite scenes, and the look on the Flash's face when he realizes that Superman is just as fast as he is. We also have a way better third act. There isn't some sky beam or like this town that needs to be saved and this random family that we see halfway through the movie getting rescued by the Flash. No, it's completely different. It's just the heroes and it's the bad guys, and it's great to see. Now, I know I'm going on and on about all the things I like, but there were some things I did dislike about this movie. It's very few. The opening scene is completely different, and thank God we do not have that horrible CGI mustache removal. We open with Superman's death from Batman v Superman. But the opening scene just drags out way too long, and I love Zack Snyder films, I really do, but that man really loves his slow motion, and there's a lot of slow motion in this movie. Another thing I didn't like, and this is more of a style critique and not necessarily about the movie, I hate the way that the Flash runs. I don't know what it is. I guess I understand it's different or whatever, but I hate how he throws his arms and stuff. That's just my personal thing. The other thing, I don't really like Cyborg's design too well. I feel like his legs are I know he's supposed to be a machine, but I feel like his legs are just a little too skinny, and wish they made them more, proportional to his body. Also, another thing is when Superman does come back and he doesn't really remember his life, Lois happens to see him and she comes running. In the original version, Batman uses her as a contingency plan. When he sees that Superman isn't normal, then he has Alfred bring Lois in, and that's changed in this version. But I feel like the version in the original movie, that's something Batman would do. Batman will always have a contingency plan for whatever. He had one for how to defeat each member of the Justice League. And then the last thing I didn't like, the CGI is a little wonky in some parts, and I guess this is to be expected. I believe he didn't have the same budget as he did with the original version, so there's a handful of scenes where the CGI didn't look too well, but it doesn't take you out the movie. It's definitely not like Mortal Kombat Annihilation bad. It's just you can kind of notice at those moments. But I do plan on watching this again. I'm going to sit through all 4 hours once again. I really wish I could have seen this in theaters. This would have been amazing to see on the big screen, and like I said before, this was the movie that we deserve. So hats off to Zack Snyder, hats off to the fans who really pushed for this to come out, and now people are talking about the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. So who knows what Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League will do for future films. So guys, I highly recommend check checking out Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. It is an amazing film. I loved it. And guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I release new videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.